Hi, this is Justin. I'm a loan officer with Supreme Lending. I've been using zBuyer for the last couple months, and I just wanted to help out and explain a little bit how I use it for my own lead generation and also to build up referrals with my realtor partners. I guess first, to cover my basic approach when I'm getting leads, first I'll talk about seller leads. When a seller lead comes in, I'll contact them and just say, hey, this is Justin. I really don't say what company I'm with at first. I just say, hey, this is Justin. I was giving you a call, and just go directly to their address. And then once the seller on the phone acknowledges, yeah, that's my property, then I'll just go into, hey, it looks like you were checking into the home values in your area. And then usually from there, I'll gauge where the seller is at, and then get into roughly the timeline as to when they're thinking about selling. As a loan officer, I have the ability to say, well, if you're thinking about selling your property, I can help you determine what you can get pre-approved for purchasing your home. Additionally, I'll say I work with a team of real estate agents, and they can help out with getting together a free home value report. And then that usually draws the seller in, because ultimately they filled something out and they want to know what their house is worth, what their value is. And this is a way for me to find out a little bit more information as to where they stand, and then from there get them set up with a real estate agent depending on what area it is that their house is located. And if they don't need help with financing, well, I tell them that's okay. I can still set you up with my realtor partner who will help with searching up values. And then from that point, I'll take down a little bit more information that I can and say, okay, when's the best time for someone to get in touch with you? And make sure very clearly the time and the number to reach them at, and then pass that information on to the realtor partner. If the seller wants to find out what they can get pre-approved for, which some of the times they do, I'll complete the loan application, and then it's a deal where I can work them up for the purchase of their new home, and the agent is helping sell their property and potentially also the purchase of their new home as well. For buyer leads, when a buyer lead comes in, I just have the lead contact them and say, hey, this is Justin with Supreme Lending. For the buyer leads, I'll say that I'm with a mortgage company and I can help you get pre-approved, because for the most part, the buyers are going to be consumers who are going to need financing. Occasionally you'll get cash buyers or investors, and then in that case I'll say, okay, you don't need financing, I can still set you up with an agent with a home search. Going back to consumers, I would like to first let them know I can help them determine what they can get pre-approved for. And I'll start out with, do you own right now? Most of the time they say no, they currently rent. Okay, when does your lease end? How soon are you looking to move? Once we find out how soon this person is trying to move, if they're saying, oh, well, it's 6 months from now, okay, well, then you'll kind of take their information down and put them into a nurturing system to follow up with them at a later time. You'll want to get their address, so that way you can mail them your information and continue to mail them your information until they do become ready to purchase. Because if a renter, their lease ends in 6 months, well, there's not much they can do for the next 3 months, but you'll want to stay in touch with them, so when the time comes, you'll be top of mind and they'll be ready to go. If it's someone who is looking to purchase in the next 3 months or less, then you'll want to move forward with the application right away, and then say, okay, I can help you with the pre-approval. Where are you looking to move? Okay, I can also set you up with an agent depending on where you're looking to move to. From there, I'll always look to say, I can help you. We'll set up an appointment with the agent, and we can also look to meet in person. It's very important with both of these leads to try and meet with them as soon as possible in person. They're going to get a lot of phone calls, emails, mails, and you want to be the first person in line to meet with them, establish that relationship, because usually if they meet with one person, they're not going to continue to spend their time to interview multiple agents or loan officers to decide who they want to work with. So if you're the first one to actually, besides make the phone call and get in touch with them, but actually meet with them, then your conversion rate will dramatically increase. Okay, we kind of covered what's the first thing that I would say to a buyer or seller. That definitely would just introduce myself and then determine if it's a buyer, seller, what direction they're headed. When it says, when I'm leaving a message, I really don't like to leave messages the first time that I call anyone. So that way, if I call somebody and they miss the call, it might entice them to call back. And when they do, I like to have their information handy. So if they're calling me back and I have their phone number and it's John that's calling me and they're calling in and I'm answering the phone, hey John, and it's a seller lead, hey John, and then you're instantly already have your foot in the door when you're talking to that particular lead. Leaving a message maybe the second time around, contacting them, a very vague message. If it's a seller, hey, this is Justin, you were checking into the values in your neighborhood, I can help you out, give me a call back. If it's a buyer, same thing, looks like you're interested in setting up a search, give me a call. Emails, in an email, I really would do for a seller, I would put RE and put their address in the subject line and then send them an email right there to capture their attention. A buyer, I would put your home search in certain zip code or area or city in the subject line. That's pretty much what works best for me, is consistent follow-up and lead dispositioning. So if the lead is no good and they're not interested, just discard it and move on and focus on the people. If they say to call back at 2 o'clock the next day, be sure to do so and just take really good notes, because when you call that person back and you have those notes, that is what's going to help out with your conversion rate as well. And ultimately, it comes down to booking the appointment. That's all that I can say. The more in-person appointments that you will make, the more deals that you will get and be able to refer out to your network. zBuyer, since we've signed up, I can't tell you the amount of deals that we've been able to generate, either as buyers, sellers, investment properties, you name it. So really, if you put the effort in and work these leads right, your conversion rate will go through the roof.